Activity 1.4 Making Sounds. What must you do to make the following musical instruments produce sounds? Use the helping words in the box to describe the actions. Now, here we have some musical instruments, and we have to tell by what actions these musical instruments produces sounds. Now I'm going to explain you about something about all of the musical instruments one by one. Then you have to choose how each of the musical instrument produces sound. Sitar, a large, long-necked Indian instrument with a movable frets played by plucking the wires. Tabla, a pair of small hand drums, one of which is slightly larger than the other and is played by hitting on it. Maracas, an instrument in the form of a hollow gourd or gourd-shaped container filled with dried beans, are usually in pair and played by shaking. Flute. Flute is made up of a tube with holes that are stopped by the fingers or keys, and it is played by blowing in it. Harp, an instrument consisting of a frame supporting a series of parallel strings played by plucking with the fingers. Gong, a disc-shaped instrument that produces a resounding sound when hit with a padded hammer. 1.5 Communicating with sounds. Which of the following objects are made to produce sounds for communication? Circle them. I've explained to you that there are many things or many objects that can be used for producing or communicating with sounds. Now, here some of the things are given, and you have to circle the ones which we use to communicate. So I'll make it easy for you by doing the first one. In the first one, we have 4 options: bell, fan, radio, and alarm clock. Bell. Do you think we can use bell to communicate with sounds? Bell produces a sound, but we cannot use bell to communicate with someone, right? And fan. We can not communicate with a fan. Radio. Radio gives us information about what's going on around the world, so it is used to communicate, right? So you have to radio is the correct answer, and you have to circle it. Solve the other ones given in your book on page 7. Activity 1.6 With ear, we can hear. The function of the various parts of a human ear are described in the table below. Identify each part by filling in the blanks with the words outer, inner, and middle. The outer ear is also known as the external ear, and the middle ear consists of the ear canal and eardrum. Okay, now on this page there's a table given below. The first column of the table says parts of the ear, and the second column of the table says what does it do. Okay, in the first part we have to fill the blanks and write the parts of the ears, and in the second column there are the functions given of each part of the ear. We have to use these 3 words, inner, outer, and middle, to fill the blanks given on the first part of the table. Okay, it collects sound. Which part of the ear collects sound? Write the name of that part in the first row of the first column. It carries sound to the eardrum, which vibrates and passes vibrations to the rest of the ear. Now, a part which carries the sound to the eardrum, from the ear canal to the eardrum, and which vibrates and passes vibration to the rest of the ear. Write the name of that part of the ear in the second row of the first column. Now, it changes vibrations into electrical signals and that are passed on to the brain. Now this one is the last part of the brain, last part of the ear, which changes the vibration into electrical signals and send the messages to the brain. Now write the name of that part in the last row of the first column. 1.6 With ear we can hear. Question number 2. There are 2 questions in 1.6. In the diagram below, label 3 parts that are described in the table found on the previous page. Okay, this question is given on page 9. Now you have to label the diagram by filling up the parts, by filling up the names of the parts of the ear that are given in question number 1, means outer inner ear, inner ear and middle ear. You have to label the picture by writing these words in the blanks given below.